Hello friends, and welcome back to They Are Billions. It has been a very long while, I know. So what I've got for you today is basically a little bit of a summary of what's been going on over the last year. So I've got some footage together. The first bit of the footage is what you will have seen at the end of the last episode, which I uploaded last year, which was episode 23. So that was my first go at taking on the swamp map, and yeah, I died. So I had another go at it, and basically I made an awful lot of those episodes over so not Christmas just gone now, but Christmas 2021, I guess, and a couple more in January, and then January, as it always does, got so hectic that I had quite a healthy buffer of videos, and I didn't make any more for a few weeks, and I could see the buffer coming to an end, and so I thought, well, I haven't got enough time to do proper voiceover videos, so I got on and did a bunch of playing without doing a voiceover, and I thought, oh, I'll do the voiceover for the next bit. I'll do the voiceover separately later. Now, that basically means that each video takes twice as long to make, if not more, because you've got to watch all of it through again in order to do your voiceover. So you know, that's a bit of an issue, and for whatever reason I just didn't want to do anymore. I just really didn't want to do voiceovers of the episodes that I'd already done, even if I enjoyed the maps and I'd enjoyed making the gameplay. So for whatever reason, I've just had a bit of a mind block, and as this is not a job, I just thought it's not worth pushing myself to do it. So I'm trying to make a bit of a summary here to catch you up on what's been going on, and then if I do make any more episodes, which I might do, then I'll be doing them with the voiceover at the time of making. So what you've been watching so far is my next attempt, and what you can see is that I have concentrated. I've got quite a few rangers on the go. They're good and they're mobile, but obviously they have got no health point pool whatsoever. And so I've got me snipers that I've built up, and I'm trying to rely on their long range in order to take out the spitters before they get close. The problem is their rate of fire is terrible, and they still need a couple of shots to take out a spitter, and you don't have like the line of sight or the vision in order for them to take best advantage of their range. And also, I just wasn't managing them very well. They kept dying, and they're really expensive, so when they do die, they cost you a lot of money and time to try and retrain them. So by the time that you have expanded far enough to actually make it useful, like I have not got enough defences here for the big wave to come. Up at day 61 by the looks of it, and I've managed to make it far enough to have a runny boy, but here, where one of the biggest waves is going to come up and attack, I've got, two working ballista towers. Over on the left, might be okay over there, but I think it'd probably be better if they'd been turned into execution towers. Possibly okay in the northeast. We have got quite a few there. 2 working, another one being built. Oh no, we've got 4 working now. Okay, so yeah, because the spitters can spit over the walls, if you have just got one layer of walls, they will just spit over the walls, take out the defences, and then number 1, the defences can't actually do anything useful, and number 2, you've got zombies running around on the inside as well. I've got some snipers there, but like against this many spitters, you just don't have a chance. And over on the southeast, I've got literally nothing. It's taken me so long to build up all of those snipers that just haven't been able to make the progress. And yeah, it's really not going to go well for me. But one thing I did think of for making these videos was I could always speed up all of the time between waves, and then when the waves are actually coming, then you can see my decision making, because it might be exciting enough to have those sort of gaps. And yeah, oh god, what do they even call the walkers? I can't remember. The big mech dudes. Yep, we've gone on the west. On the south, they're smashing down the walls. On the southeast, I have got 2 layers of walls there, which help, but I hadn't actually managed to build the flipping ballista towers in time for them to do anything useful. So, yeah, that didn't really go so well. This was my first proper attempt, I think, at taking on this map, and as you can see, it really hasn't gone very well. But no worries. You get to see my bank, my house, my headquarters being destroyed. And this is a site that you will become quite familiar with during this video, because it took me not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4 attempts before I was finally successful on this map. Yeah, took way too long to finally get to the point where I could beat this. This is a very familiar sight now. So many spitters. So what you need to do is you need to make fast progress on this map, and you cannot afford to have yourself wiped out with each wave that comes, because you're just not going to build enough defences to take on the final wave if you make slow progress. So there we go. End of number 1. Okay, so following that, sorry, that was my second attempt at that map, and I almost had another go straight away, and I thought, oh, you know what, I think I need something different while I think about how to tackle that problem. I could take on that infected swarm, but it's quite big, so where else could we go? And so I thought, ooh, the Villa del Terra. It sounds foreign and, you know, intriguing, exotic. I like the start. The start really reminds me of an earlier map that I did. Which one? It was the one with the giant, I think, Land of the Giant. But this one has an absolutely huge apocalyptic village of doom up there. And it's not immediately clear whether that village of doom is actually connected to where you start. It's not, and so it is, you know, safe enough to build up to the tree line there. The problem is, what happens is, as you build buildings there and as you start making noise there, you do start attracting all of the harpies and the big fat blobby zombies as well. So by this point I have got the shock towers up and running. I have started to build up. I've had a couple of waves, and I've built up on the east, and then I've built up on the west, and basically I am taking my time a bit, and I've built up a huge, great shopping residential section in the middle there, and I'm trying to upgrade the houses as I go along so that I can make most use of that space, and then basically just keep leapfrogging walls, basically. I'm aware that there are a huge number of zombies that I need to be careful of. This was quite a nice vanilla sort of map, though. It's got a nice big space where you can be, you know, a bit careful about your economy of space and how many houses you're building where, etc. And you get big waves that come with, you know, mainly runner zombies with a few harpies mixed in because of the big the village of death, whatever it is. And so you can just play the game, all the best bits of the game, really. It did really get hairy towards the end, though, and you'll see it's gonna skip on in a little bit, and you'll see the kind of problems that I had at the end. But this was probably my most northern beachhead, as it were, and I've got 2 blocks of two entryways basically. One just to the east there, which would take me across to the east and then down into the Village of Doom, and then I'm totally open to the north and the northwest attacks. So I started building that up, and then I come down to the southeast area where I wall off the Village of Doom there, back up to the northwest, and just basically fend off all of the different waves. The beachheads did manage to survive in the end, and by the end of it, the entire village empties itself with the last wave. And so, managed to take out all those houses, and finished! Hurrah! Next, into the Steel Fortress. I went with one of my heroes. Did I go there immediately? I can't remember. I think I took on the Infected Swarm next. Yeah, and my first attempt here was not a particularly successful one. I did build a whole load of soldiers, and yeah, the snipers were not the best idea. I had these guys were useful. Yeah, the Titans. There we go. I have finally remembered the name of the flipping things. They just weren't good enough. The flamethrower guys that I had just weren't doing their job holding down the passages on the east. So I just said, well, what about easy mode? What if I just go for Titans on their own? And they basically managed to hold out, if I remember. We ran one around, lots and lots and lots, sacrificed one, and then the others were just about to use their area of effect. Weapons fire. I think I'd take one out to work as a distraction for another while longer. He survives quite well there. Certainly longer than I expected that he would. And then the rest of them just keep bringing out little distractions over time, and they are just about able to kill the zombies as they get to their feet. I think I only lost about 3, maybe 4 Titans during the whole of this map, and you can see that they're all just coming in piecemeal now. And yeah, these Titans really good at holding off big blobs of zombies. So well done them. They fought off the horde, and in a very hands-off way as well. I really didn't have to do very much in order to win this battle. So, hooray for lazy play. And it rhymes. So, having finished going for the variety act, so I'd had to go at like a real map, finish the map, and then I've taken out a zombie swarm, and then I could have gone for the giant wasteland, but I thought, no, I'll take my hero out for a run. So I took them out to the HPP 9000, and there were an awful lot of zombies here, and I think basically what you find out during this map is that they have got, if you'd been keeping up to date with newspaper readings at the time, they keep talking about a food crisis. And basically, I think they tried to fix this food crisis by basically turning zombies, or people, into food. So I don't know whether I imagine they probably started turning dead people into food before they knew about the zombie outbreak. But then, once the virus started to spread, and they were mincing people up and putting them into however many thousands of different tins of food, and then people were eating those tins of food. Yeah, that is probably how it spread so widely. Here we go. Yeah, most sustainable food source. I don't think they tell you what's in the food source, but you can quite clearly see from this mission that the food source is human bodies. Delightful. So I guess, yeah, do look out for governments of the day claiming that they've solved the living wage crisis. So this is attempt number 3 in the swamps. I think I'm quite happy with the way that I've started off each time. It's basically build as many houses as you can, as quickly as you can, using up that space as efficiently as you can. What I really struggled to do as soon as I broke out of this area was to continue using the housing efficiently, basically, because I think it's so easy for a spitter to just sneak through one area and take out a house very, very quickly, making more zombies, and then you've got to deal not only with the zombie outbreak but also with a spitter who's really good at and you can hear my voice in the background starting to commentate over this one. So this is a video that I actually did a commentation on. I mean, I considered releasing it as a standalone thing, but because there were so many other videos that I'd done that did not have any voiceover at all, it was a bit weird just to have one with voiceover. And yeah, here you can see I tried to fix that the weakness of the snipers by putting in some line of sight towers, the telescopes, but it was just too little too late. Wasn't getting enough resources, and by the time I got to the end of the map, I basically deleted everything to stop the spitters coming in and attacking, and they just worked their way up, destroyed everything, and yep, so that was attempt number 3, also totally unsuccessful. You can see I'd even built advanced farms at the back here, trying to make as much use of the space as I could, but that was too little too late. Really need to make best use of the space as we're expanding into it, basically. So, feeling rather disheartened and saddened, I decided, right, you know what, I'm going to try another one. We're going to move on to the map The Resistance. Now, this was an interesting map. You start in... It is quite a precarious position. There are lots of, like, little... I'm trying to think of the word of it. Places where the zombies are squeezed through. At the beginning, it looks like there are lots of choke points. There we go, that's the word. It looks like there are lots of choke points in this map. But when you look at it, there are just so many. There are so many small ones that it's almost like you've got some choke points around the initial circle, but then you've got to get all the way out to the edges in order to make another choke point, and you've got to do so much expanding and so much blocking off that I think it initially looks easy to block off, but in actual fact it's a really difficult juggling act between where do you spend your resources. Do you expend it in expanding quickly and taking off huge chunks at once, or do you waste resources in building extra walls in the middle that are then you're going to have to delete, and you're going to have to build houses over and mines over and whatever. So I did a fair job of expanding downwards and around pretty quickly, I thought. So I took over the initial oasis area, and I thought, you know what, I will go for the quick expansion route, and I will build all of these different towers and take up loads and loads of power, and the zombies will come in and they will probably eat most of them, but then it'll be pretty easy for me to just, repair all, not take a huge amount of thought. So I've tried to capture the first lot of the first zombie wave, and it's just a little bit too big for my ranger to actually hold off on her own, and I've tried to distract them here and have those soldiers fending for themselves for a while and taking out the horde while I distract the rest of them with my 2 rangers, but I really haven't left enough back here to defend the settlement, And while I am focusing on those, of course there are zombies coming in from the west. Sorry, they are finding those towers. They are quietly nomming on those towers, and they are creating more runner zombies from each tower. And I think I'm really worried about that northern wall there with the soldiers in, and I do not notice the infection running rife through the middle of my base. And I'm like, yeah, that is beyond saving. Beyond saving. They are too close to my town centre. I haven't got my soldiers near enough to take them out, so I had a go at that, and I think building too many Tesla coils at once was my downfall, because it allowed me to, it allowed the zombies to basically build up a second wave just by slowly spreading through those towers and building enough zombies to get through the really weak defences I had on the west. So, second time, I had decided to buy some stake traps, and I thought, oh, I'll try these out and just see how they go. And they are invaluable. I mean, they cost a load of wood, but look, they just take out half of the wave. Half the wave taken out. I have had to do nothing except basically lead them through it, and then this lot go through, do the same thing. Beautiful. They're all gone. Let's spend some wood, of which I have loads in this map, and yeah, let's make stake traps everywhere basically. So that was the name of the game for the next couple of waves. Stake traps, lead the zombies into them, and then the final wave, of which I think this probably is the final wave. This was gnarly. This took a huge amount of micromanagement. That executioner there, I think, single-handedly held off the stragglers and allowed me to start building back and taking over that west and southwestern side again. Down here on the south, I was having a bit of trouble with my power network. You can see, I think the shock tower at the south wall there seems to be depowered. So it was absolutely touch and go here. I was building a single wall defence there just on the inside gap of the trees on the west. One by one, I was taking my soldiers out of these towers to buy as much time as possible for the horde to be taken out, piecemeal. If I could avoid destroying all of these houses, then I was going to try and avoid that. But basically just trying to make room, trying to make extra power available so that my defences could keep going. I've got a shock tower there, just trying to take out the last few remaining zombies as well as I could. Those soldiers running through the stakes and having zombies charging after them. All of those houses were taken out and infected, but they just couldn't make it through the last group of soldiers. And this was the last remaining horde. So I was able to take my soldiers out at long last, leave myself there with a shock tower just to look after that gate. All the rest of the zombie swarms had been taken out, so it was literally just a case of telling the soldiers to go out hunting. All the houses had already been infected, so they weren't going to yield any more zombies if they got attacked. And then gradually just start rebuilding. I had so many power plants on the southwest side there. So because there wasn't another wave coming, I was like, yoink. What do I need? I need a whole load of colonists, so I just started destroying stone walls to give me extra stone. I destroyed all of the defences, which gave me all of the materials that I used for destroying them, and gradually just waited for all of the new houses to be built up again, wait it. You can see all the colonists coming in from the left of the map there. Brilliant. So, yeah, just a case of build houses to get the money stream up, wait for colonists to appear in them. When I've got enough colonists appearing in them, then I can repair the power plants with the workers. Once I've got enough workers in the power plants, I've got enough power to build more houses, so I build more houses and then I wait for the next day. So it was literally waiting day by day for more colonists to come back in. Yeah, it was. I think there were a couple of things that I could have done. You know, more efficient building at the beginning would have allowed me to basically get a bit further by the end of it, have more defences available. Oh, okay, my computer just flickered there. I'm going to stop recording. And on we go. Yeah, one big issue with... I was talking right at the beginning about me having a tough time basically doing voiceovers for all of these episodes. And one of them is that I have... It must be a slightly unstable system. I mean, I haven't got my RAM going at its full speed because that was quite unstable when I first built this a couple of years ago. But yeah, when I'm using, what am I using? It's Movie Studio 16 Platinum. That's what I use to edit the videos now. I bought that cheap off Humble Bundle a couple of years ago, and yeah, it's really good. However, trying to do a voiceover and you've been talking over something for 20 minutes and then you discover that it's just stopped recording, or your computer just decides to restart and then you lose everything there. Yeah, that was pretty awful and annoying. So that's another thing made it it was very tiresome when you'd put yourself up to that task of actually recording something and then it just broke. Whew. So finally completed that colony. Following the success of that, I thought, you know what, let's have another go at the swamp. So we've got the broken land available now. Hooray. Can't remember what the broken land does. There you go. I'm not sure when if I do another episode, I'm not sure which one I will go through next. Pardon me. So here we are, having a go at swamp again. It's the usual start. I'm dying. Usual start. Get the houses there. Get the wood supply up. Get the farms up there. Place as efficiently as possible. Didn't go well. That was attempt number 4. I don't know what went wrong. It must have been just the start being particularly... I don't even know how long that lasted. I was probably playing for about half an hour and then it went down the toilet. So, attempt number 5. Attempt number 5. This time, I basically didn't bother with snipers. I was like, I have had it with snipers. What I discovered at some point was that using soldiers was actually quite effective, because even though they don't have the range of a sniper, they are significantly cheaper. They take up a lot less time to build them, and they are faster. So they will still they'll take a couple of hits quite happily from a spitter, and they will take out the spitter before they die. So you really don't need the range of a sniper to be like invincible. And so you can make these little squads of soldiers and move them up on the map, and you then have a load of resources available for you to be building up the houses in the middle. If you'll notice, I have built up in the middle of the map far more than I had it previously, which gave me enough resources to build up these Titans. And the Titans are really useful because they are basically mobile executioner units. And with this map, you do not know where the spitters are going to come from in their waves. And so, really, really useful. If you can basically build up a mobile defense force, then each wave you just run them across the map to where they are needed the most. And that means that your defences don't get obliterated by these waves of bloody spitters. So you don't lose all of those resources, you don't lose all of that time. And I also experimented here with multiple single layers of walls, because the spitters, they kind of take out 2 layers of walls at the same time. So why not make 3 walls of single things that will take them 3 times as long to get through as one double-edged wall, but it only takes 1.5 times the resources. So thinking about the way that your troops actually interact with the spitters it really paid off here. So in the end, it still wasn't very easy. I think what I ended up doing was chopping that south wave in half with my Titans, because they just straight through the blisters there, and while they were still chewing through the blisters and the walls, the blisters behind them were doing a good job, but it meant that I could start getting my Titans in there, and maybe you'll see in a bit. Or maybe I did that earlier in the game, I can't remember. It doesn't look like I'm doing it particularly now, but because I can see most of the map, I am taking out those swarms far more effectively than I used to. I've noticed at the northeast my defences have largely gone, the spitters are about to reach my houses, and so I've literally got my Titans up on as my last line of defence there, and it looks like they have managed to stop them reaching the place. In response, who was it? Is it Diner Plays? Subscriber that did make a lot of talk, a lot of constructive comments when I was doing this playthrough. I'm pretty sure they said that the zombies will never go down that area there. I'm wasting my time building walls. Well, I think it was quite helpful for me to have the walls there in the end, because the zombies tried to come down there from the northeast. So, finally, attempt number 5. Victory was mine! So there you go. That's what I've been doing with They Are Billions in all that time of silence. I hope that you enjoyed. If you would like to see the raw gameplay, then I don't know, maybe I'll make a Patreon account and you can all subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see the unedited gameplay, and I can make money off rubbish. So anyway, thank you very much. If you would like to see more They Are Billions, please let me know, and I will dedicate some more time towards that in the future. Thanks very much. Take care all. I'll catch you next time. Bye.